Another Arctic blast is coming to the United States here, in particular, Michigan. We are Michigan Storm Chasers. I am Ryan. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. We do videos like this all the time in terms of short-term impactful weather events or the long-term pattern. We guys got you covered here at Michigan Storm Chasers, no matter the weather. Let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. We're going to focus in on the long term. So if you're looking for short-term information, watch our last video. It talks about the snow today and also a little bit of the upcoming week ahead. Today's video, though, like I said, focuses on the long term. Let's go ahead and dive into this. The European model, what you're seeing on your screen here, is an anomaly map. Anomalies are averages. So the average temperature for this time of year for Michigan is roughly 28 or so degrees. Anything above that 28-degree threshold is going to show up as warmer colors, so yellows, reds, and browns. Anything below that will show up as a colder color, so the blues and greens there. So for example, we're seeing that warmer than average anomaly for us here in Canada. Then further in the Ohio Valley and southern Michigan, we're getting those anomalies that are below average. So Michigan right now is kind of split. Northern Michigan in a warmer than average, but then southern Michigan is in a cooler than average. This pattern is going to change very quickly here as we move into the last half of the month. Let's go ahead and move this into the last 10 days of January. But as I go through the time frame here, you're going to notice an expansion and also a growing colder trend here as we move toward January. I'll stop it right here. This is from Sunday, January 19th to roughly Sunday, January 26th here. And we are seeing all 48 of the continental United States in a below average color here in terms of our temperatures. Now, how cold does this show us? If I were to go down here to this graph here and correlate these colors in Michigan, so greenish, bluish color there, if I go down to this graph here, and I zoom way in, we're getting temperatures anywhere from -10 or so to -20 degrees below average. So you take that 10 to 20 degrees and you minus the average, you're getting an air temperature of roughly 8 to 18 degrees in terms of our surface temperature. So overall, that's what we're kind of concerned about here. That is a typical winter here in Michigan. This is not, unusual, but what is unusual is the temperature forecast here. And if I go ahead and move this into our time frame here on the deterministic runs of the models, this is not a forecast, but just again, general idea. The models here do show a couple of the days out of the last 10 days of January with air temperatures roughly at or below zero. So this is for January 20th here to start the Arctic blast of air. We're seeing temperatures, again, not wind chills, but actual surface temperatures in the single digits, if not below zero, for much of Michigan. If I go up here to the UP is usually always colder here. We're getting surface temperatures below zero, -15 on this model here. So again, not a forecast, but this would be supported by ensembles. So we will see a Arctic blast here. But what we're really concerned about, and I get your guys' attention here, what we're really concerned about with this Arctic blast is the wind chills involved. The winds do, or at this point, do look to be a factor in our temperatures. So what that means is our wind chill maps will look something like this. Take it back full. This is a wind chill for the exact same time frame, January 20th. We're seeing the entire state of Michigan around -10 to -30 up in the UP there below zero. That is frigid wind chills. And that is what we're concerned about. But not only just for a few days, though, more so a long-term pattern development here. We're looking at the last 10 days of January at least. Going to be stuck in this Arctic pattern of colder air. That is what concerns us. That is what we're making this video today to get you guys a little bit more aware. Yes, it's not an official forecast just yet, but we are seeing the signs that this is going to be a prolonged outbreak, so to speak, of cold air. And this is typical winter here, but I know a lot of the wind chills can catch people off guard. And we're just here to kind of give you guys the first heads up about this. The CPC does have below average probabilities here, just issued just a few minutes ago here from the for the CPC, apologies, the Climate Prediction Center. We are seeing a large area of eastern United States in below average, roughly 70 to 80% chances of likely below average temperatures here. So the CPC is also catching up on this as well. What good is cold air, though, without snow? I want to, as a Southeast Michigan resident myself, I've gotten like 2 inches of snow this year. I want snow. Let's go ahead and look at some models here in the long-term period. So this is a GFS model. The GFS is more aggressive in the long-term pattern here. If I just kind of roll this through the time frame, We're going to watch a system today passing over us. We're going to start watching a system here moving in for the late week time frame. Perhaps some snow showers there with a clipper midweek for northern Michigan, but my attention is really turned on two time frames in particular. Number one time frame is the January 18th. So this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the GFS does have a system that develops. The first model that's shown a bigger system. Most of the ensemble members do show a much weaker system. So we're going to keep an eye on this right around the 18th of January, around that time frame. Going into the future, though, we do stay active on the GFS model. System number one, system number two develops here a little bit later on. Notice a lake effect response there for Michigan. System number two here, Clipper system. And it just keeps on coming, Clipper system, and another one comes up from the south. Overall consensus with this is the active pattern will continue. The European is much of the same pattern here. This is a European version of the exact same thing, the long-term systems to watch here. Again, there's that system today. As we move toward the weekend, though, the European does have, again, a Clipper system moving through Wednesday, Thursday for northern Michigan, and then another one coming through a bit later. And then here's that weaker system that passes off to our south around the Friday, Saturday time frame. We're going to keep an eye on that. It could trend for snow, but it also could trend a much weaker, perhaps some rain even, as temperatures do warm up for that Friday period. But going back into the long term here, we see system number one here to watch, system number two developed to our south, system number three. We're watching so many systems in the long term here. No specific details. Overall pattern is active and cold. Cross your fingers that Michigan gets into an active storm track here because we need snow. So that is how it's looking here for the long term. Now, in terms of the next week or so, I will say this. The Arctic blast we're kind of keying in on comes around January 19th or 20th. But I will also point out the fact that we do have a couple of things to talk about here upcoming week across Michigan. Number one, we're warmer today. It's going to cool off tomorrow for about 2 or 3 days. So Tuesday, Wednesday will be cold. And then we're going to see a heat wave, 30, 34, 35 degrees, perhaps make a run toward 40 in spots before that Arctic blast hits around the 19th. And you can see the cold temperatures from there on out. The models here are very frigid past the 19th and 20th of January. But first, 2 cold days here. We're warm up for about 2 days and we go back into that cold pattern. That is your extended outlook here. So if you take anything away from this video, expect it to get really cold after the 20th of January. Make sure you guys' furnaces are operating properly. Make sure you guys got your blankets ready. And also, if you guys don't have any merch from us, we have hoodies on our merch store, helicity.co, including this awesome radar hoodie that I absolutely love. It's very soft inside too. Actually, I'm kind of starting to sweat here. It's keeping me warm. So I'm going to take it off here in a second. But hey, we got merch for you guys if you guys want hoodies. We also got sweatpants on there as well. Feel free to hop over there. Link is in the description. Again, that is helicity.co. I will throw the banner up here on the screen as I end this video. Overall, thank you guys for watching this video. Again, we do content like this all the time. So if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this content, hit like for me, as again, that helps us with our algorithm as we move to grow our YouTube channel and presence here across Michigan and the Midwest and beyond. Before I hop out of here, shout out to today's sponsor of the video. We're going to go Pro Powder out of South Haven for your powder coating needs. 269-637-8722. Thank you to Pro Powder for sponsoring today's video. Keeps us rolling here with full-time operations at Michigan Storm Chasers. With that being said, I'll catch you guys tomorrow for a weekly update video here at 7 o'clock live on YouTube and Facebook here at Michigan Storm Chasers. You guys stay safe, stay warm, and I'll catch you guys